I know that these moments are just a small part of a very important luncheon, which is just a small part of a very large and important convention. But this moment means the world to me. In many ways, I feel I've been preparing for this day my entire life. And I pray to be worthy of the trust and the obligations that I undertake. If I began to thank the people personally who made this day possible, we wouldn't have time to hear President Obama tomorrow. So I won't. But I will say that when Rabbi Richard Hirsch speaks of his Bella, he expresses the feelings that I have for my Vicky. And I will say, when he says to be a Lion of Judah, it is a charge that I will try to fulfill with every fiber of strength in my body and my mind. I've had an interesting relationship with the biblical Judah since I was in junior high school. Rick Jacobs says I taught him when he was in junior high school in Santa Ana. When I was in junior high school, we had report cards. And my teacher, Joseph Aaronworth of blessed memory, began his report to my parents this way. This is a difficult report to write since I know you personally. I had very little interest in religious school until I encountered Judah, who, along with Joseph, plays a key role in this week's Torah portion and those that come through to the end of the book of Genesis. It is a path of life that I hope to emulate. As a kid, I was, like many kids, only interested in myself, what's in it for me. Hebrew school didn't have much to offer. But then Mr. Aaronworth had us read the magnificent speech of Judah to Joseph that we read in Parashat Vayigash in a couple of weeks. And I note the tremendous difference between the Judah of Vayeshev, this week's portion, and the Judah of Vayigash. And I see that we have the ability to grow and to change and to become more than we are, or even more than we thought we could be. In this week's portion, Joseph, the dreamer, is hated by his brothers. They plot to kill him. But Judah says, what profit is there if we kill him? Let's sell him. Make something on the deal. And so Judah sees his brother taken away in chains, brings the coat of many colors, the famous Tonet Pasim, back to his father with the blood of an animal on it, and says, is this your son's coat? And he sees the grief and the anguish of his father, and it changes his life. He is then schooled at the Timnah yeshiva of his daughter-in-law Tamar. And he changes. So that next week's portion we see, in a time of famine and Jacob is forced to send Benjamin to Egypt, it is Judah. Judah, who once caused his father such grief, who makes a solemn pledge to his father. That idea of a solemn pledge is one I hope that all of you will emulate as well. to the World Union for Progressive Judaism. And he says, if I don't bring him back to you, I stand guilty before my Father forever. And the following week, in another example for all of us, he makes good on that pledge. For he is willing to remain a slave rather than see his father experience the grief he once caused him. He is called, as my revered teacher Nechama Leibovitz of blessed memory taught me, a Bal Tshuva Shlema, one who confronts a sin he committed in the past and refuses to repeat it. And when it has been my privilege to teach Torah and study, as it has been all these years in my congregational career, and as it has been these past 5.5 months from Berlin to Budapest to Buenos Aires, in the States from New York to Nashville to Newport Beach, and in Israel from Jerusalem to Modi'in and to Haifa, I ask one overriding question, as those who have studied with me know well. And that question is simply, where are we in the text? Veracity, truth, is not in historicity, but in what we learn from the story. And we learn from our biblical characters that we can grow and develop and change for the better. When does that happen? It happens when we look beyond ourselves. It happened for Jacob, who stood before his blind father, lying through his teeth, swearing he was Esau, to the man who becomes Israel, the responsible purveyor of our covenant with God. It happens with Joseph, who dreams of Hashemesh, Hayareach, the Hadasar, Kochavim, Mishtavim li, sun, moon, stars bowing down to him, to the man who says, Biladai, it's not me. It is God who will see to Pharaoh's welfare and to the welfare of Egypt. And it is Judah who grows from Ma Betza. What's in it for me? What's in it for us if we kill him? To the man who says, I cannot return to my father unless the boy is with us. Where are we in the story? As North American Jews, yes, we have enough to worry about of ourselves. Times are tough. Our congregations struggle to meet their budgets. But what are we if we only think of ourselves, if we don't think beyond them? Think with me to the eyes of the young girl who stood with me on the banks of the Rhine in Cologne, Germany, for her first ever tashlik, and see the glow. See the satisfied smile on the face of Zima in Kiev as he read the Torah for the first time on Erev Sukkot. See the faces of so many young families experiencing progressive Jewish life in our sacred land of Israel. See with me how the world is dividing so rapidly between those who dismiss religion as foolishness and fairy tale on the one hand, and the fundamentalist fanatics on the other. And realize that, as Mike Rabiner said so eloquently, for 1.8 million Jews around the world, in 45 countries, including Israel and every place else, we are the best hope. My favorite psalm, Psalm 61, contains this line, Bitsur Yarumi Meni Tanheni, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. May we all look to a level above ourselves. Think of our brothers and sisters around the world and truly grow into the name of Judah, or more appropriately, the proud title of Jew, from which that name is taken. May the World Union be blessed to go from strength to ever greater strength. Amen.